Hola, mi gente. Welcome back to Yo Quiero Dinero. I'm Jannese Torres, your host. And today we're going to be kicking off a new series on the podcast where I'm answering your questions live on the show. Yes, honey, we're going to get into all the messy tea. And we're starting off with a really juicy topic today: divorce. Okay, we're going to be talking about divorce, splitting ownership of the assets, aka who's getting the house, and how to avoid getting got by your ex spouse to be when you're going through this situation. Okay, so today's question is from Instagram. Karen asks, I'm in the process of getting a divorce, and he has agreed to let me keep the house without buying him out so I can keep affording it. I currently have a 2.6% interest rate on it. I can afford to stay here. But he said whenever I decide to sell it, he wants half. It sounds good now, but my brother said if I'm paying in full now, he shouldn't get half when I sell. Both names are on the mortgage and deed. Hmm. Ooh, girl, this is he thinks he's gonna scam you, but because you listen to the show, we're gonna save you from very much potential future drama. Now, you are absolutely right to be cautious here because what feels fair now may definitely not feel fair later, especially if the value of your house increases significantly or you end up covering all the expenses for years. All right, so let's break this down. What is happening right now? Both of you are on the deed and the mortgage, which means you both legally own the home and you are both legally responsible for the mortgage, even if you're the only one paying. Okay, so you have this verbal agreement where he says you can keep living in the house, you're paying 100% of the mortgage and upkeep, and he won't require a buyout now, but he wants 50% of the proceeds when you sell. Here's the problem. If you're taking on 100% of the financial burden, aka mortgage payments, maintenance, property taxes, insurance, etc., then a 50-50 split later does not reflect the real investment that you've made. You're building the equity on your own, but he's asking to benefit from that later without contributing. Honey, your brother is right to raise the red flag. Okay? Absolutely fucking not. This is what I want you to do. Obviously, the best solution to just make this airtight would be to refinance into your own name. But you're going to lose out on that 2.6% interest rate. And I don't think we're ever going to see that again unless we have another economic crash. Okay. So that may not sound like a viable option, especially if the interest rate going up would mean that you can no longer afford the home. Now, another option that you have is to actually get a legal agreement drafted with your divorce attorney or a real estate attorney that says that you pay all the expenses from X date forward whenever that divorce is finalized. And upon the sale, you will deduct all payments that you've made or a percentage of the equity appreciation since that date. Or he'll get a fixed amount or a fixed percentage of the original equity, not future gains. Okay. That's the best way to handle the situation without having to refinance the home. What you need to do next is consult your divorce attorney and get this agreement in writing, ideally in the divorce settlement. And you want to keep records of every payment that you make, including repairs and upgrades. If you're the one building the equity and maintaining the house, it is reasonable to renegotiate the 50-50 split. Otherwise, you're giving him a long-term asset for free. He wants to come off like all super generous because he's like, yeah, sure, you can stay in the house. The reality of it is that you're the only one that is solely paying the mortgage, taxes, maintenance, and all the other costs going forward. You're also the only one building equity and taking on the financial risk. So if both of your names are still in the deed and mortgage, he still technically owns half. But unless he's contributing financially, it is not fair for him to benefit from future appreciation that you alone paid for. Here's some sample language for the agreement. The parties agree that Karen shall retain exclusive possession and use of the marital residence located at property address. Although the mortgage and deed remain in both parties' names as of the date of this agreement, Karen shall assume full responsibility for all mortgage payments, property taxes, insurance, utilities, maintenance, and any other costs associated with the property from this date forward. In the event that the property is sold in the future, the net proceeds will be divided as follows: Karen shall first be reimbursed for all mortgage payments and related housing expenses made solely by her after the effective date. Any appreciation in the property's value from the effective date until the date of sale shall be considered to have been earned by Karen due to her sole financial contributions and efforts. After such reimbursements and deductions, the remaining equity shall be divided between the parties equally, or you can decide a different split, 70-30, a fixed amount to your spouse, etc. Parties agree to cooperate in good faith to execute any additional documents needed to effectuate this agreement, including a deed transfer or refinancing of the mortgage if and when requested by Karen. Okay, so I need you to talk to your divorce attorney. Make sure that you're getting this in writing. Do not let this man try to scam you out of a bunch of appreciation, honey, because we already know real estate is not going to get any cheaper. And there's no way in hell that I'm going to be okay with you letting that man get all of this extra money from a house that he's no longer paying for. Absolutely not. All right. Thanks so much for your question, Karen. If you want to ask me a question that I can answer on the show, check out the episode description for the link where you can send your question in or send me a DM on Instagram at Yo Quiero Dinero Podcast. Until next time, stay poderosa.